beating Kaizer Chiefs 4-0. Now we were beaten 4-0 by Orlando Pirates in our last game. Victory is sweet. To then say it was the greatest victory between scoring 4 goals, I think we'll be misleading ourselves. It was sweet to beat Kaizer Chiefs as much as it was sweet to beat Stellenbosch at King Goodwill Stadium. As much as it was sweet to beat Skukuni, a few weeks ago. Victory is victory. But the rest of the campaign was nothing to rave home about. And we made it very clear that there has to be changes to prepare ourselves for a decade of significance for AmaZulu Football Club. And indeed, we've made those changes. We have made changes at a technical level. We've made changes at an administrative level of the team. We have made changes at a player level. We're not a vindictive team. If you expect me to read the role of people who have been terminated, I will not do that. I think all of those people have a lot of dignity that we need to protect. I will not allow a forum like this to be the one where I say so and so is gone, so and so contract has not been renewed. I'm not going to do that. Suffice it to say, among the people whose life with AmaZulu Football Club as a player has come to an end is the legendary Lehlohlo Majoro. I'm singling him out because he has done so much for the team over the years. His debut as a professional player, which was late, he was a late bloomer by any measure of standard. AmaZulu gave him that break, and he did so much for AmaZulu during his early stint, and he left to join teams in Gauteng and Western Cape, and he came back. He continued where he left off. I've had a lot of pleasure working with Majoro in the 2020-21 season up until this season passed. So I've indicated to him that in as much as his contractual obligations to the team have now been relieved and vice versa, that it is my intention that over time to rope him in, because he's been a very exemplary leader to the youngsters, to see what role he can play in the team. Naturally, there will be a cooling off period for him to gather his breath and to discover what his mission is in the short term. And if his mission includes soccer, if his soft spot for AmaZulu continues, then I think there's a cause for a discussion. So we say a big thank you to Major Majoro for his exemplary leadership and role that he played at AmaZulu. He played more than 100 games recently, and in his professional career he's scored in excess of 90 goals. It would have been his wish, and most certainly my wish, that he scores his 100th goal in the colours of AmaZulu Football Club. But it was not to be. He may choose to continue with his playing career. That's his choice. We wish him all the best. And so do we wish all the best to all the other players whose relationship with AmaZulu will have come to an end. Some of them have got many miles left in their legs. I've got no doubt that they will emerge somewhere. Best wishes to them. We appreciative of the role they played in AmaZulu Football Club. With those few words, I just want to highlight that going forward, there's quite a few changes that we may bring on board in the organogram, in the structure of AmaZulu Football Club. That is under discussion within the team. We may be bringing on board positions that did not exist before. One obvious is one of a sports director. Some teams dabble with the idea of a general manager, technical manager, and others say, look, merge all of that into one called sports director. And others have a sports director, but have a much more junior manager of or general manager of the team, or maybe have an elevated team manager to fill that gap between the sports director and the rest of the playing staff. So we're dabbling with those ideas, but in the next few weeks we should be able to finalize exactly what structure we choose as AmaZulu going forward. We are talking to a number of coaches, both local and international, to see how they can assist AmaZulu in this season and beyond. And that will not be my sole responsibility. It will be the responsibility of myself working with a committee of competent people with coaching experience who are associated with AmaZulu to assist me in choosing who that coach should be. It is our express wish that we will finalize that before the resumption of a pre-season program. Hopefully much sooner than that. Thank you very much. I'll be opening myself to questions.
Thank you, Babin Sangakulu. Members of the media, please, if you have your question ready, you can just raise your hand, introduce yourself and the organization you represent, and the floor will be yours. Please.
Sawona Colin, kule wethu msebenzi sport kuze. Mhlambe umbuzo wami ubheke ekutheni kunombuzo engingawubuza. Kunombuzo engingawubuza Ayanda Dlamini last game against Orlando Pirates. Mhlambe ngabe iqembu liyakubona yini ukuthi ulanda abadlali abamoya abanamagama amakhulu ugcina sekulimaza iqembu ekutheni bagcina sebe bakhulu ngaphezulu kweqembu ugcina ngaresathu iseqembu.
Do you have another question? Introduce yourselves.
Smith Msomi, independent media. I mean, you've spoken about the fact that there will be changes at the club from all structures. So I'm just trying to get clarity on where does that place the former interim coach, Coach Ayanda, and also where does that place technical advisor of the club who remain folks.
I think we can.
Okay. Thank you. Let me respond to the two questions. One relates to the influence of so-called big-name players in the fabric of the team. I don't know what is a big name player. Honestly, I don't know what is a big name player. There are players. There are players in the team that we've had who have pedigree for winning cups, who come from teams that have won things. In South Africa, the teams that win things, are known. I mean, you can see in the last 5 or 6 competitive cups, the 2 league cups won by one team, the 2 Nedbank cups won by Sundowns the previous season and Pirates this season, and the 2 MTN cups won by Sundowns the previous season and won by Pirates this season. So if you talk about teams with pedigree or players with pedigree for winning, in the last 2 seasons, those players will have come from Orlando Pirates or Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, are you saying that would want to cast aspersions that teams that come from those teams have an influence on the culture of the team? My argument is no, it cannot be true. And in actual fact, some of the greatest leaders in the team will have come from some of those teams, including Kaizer Chiefs over the years. So at AmaZulu, we've got no attitude to the player, just by virtue of which team he comes from. We expect the player to come in and make a contribution. Either he fits in or he does not fit in, and we'll judge him favorably or harshly depending on his honest behavior, not on which team he comes from. So that is my attitude. Some of the greatest influences or influencers positive in the team at AmaZulu in the last 3 seasons would have come from some of those teams. I mean, who can forget the role that people like Meme played in AmaZulu in the season 2020-21 and 21-22 season, in our campaign in the continent. Great player. He came from Orlando Pirates and he made a positive, stellar contribution to the team. The role of people like Augustine Mulenga during our 2020-21 campaign, again, came from Orlando Pirates. The role of people like George Malulega comes from Sundowns. So quite an exemplary leader within the team. Interacts very nicely with the youngsters. Just to mention a few. So I think I want to make it very clear that in our search for talent, we'll look anywhere. There's no player who is taboo in AmaZulu, by virtue of which teams he will have played for. On the 2 names, Ayanda Dlamini and Romain Falls. Let's start with Ayanda Dlamini. Ayanda is a great son of AmaZulu Football Club. Goes by the name of Cobra. Most people will remember him as a striker. Scored great goals for AmaZulu Football Club. And his influence in the team and his contribution towards saving the team from relegation during the year of the COVID, when the team played in the bubble, is on record. So the fans of AmaZulu hold him very close to their hearts for the role that he played as a player, as well as a coach during those difficult bubble times. Of course, in the first season that we, the Zungu family, came on board, we gave him a chance to hold the team, to take it forward for the first 6-7 games. He handed the towel back to me and said, look, this task is a bit bigger than me at this stage. Can you find someone else to take charge? And I applauded that. I thought that's the hallmark of a great leader who knows when to hang in the towel. He was roped in as an assistant to Romain Falls for Shaza. And in the last 6 games of the previous campaign, he was given sole responsibility as the interim head coach. And the mandate to him was very simple. Forget relegation. AmaZulu will not be relegated. I think at the time AmaZulu had 28 points. Said, we have got 18 points in this next 6 games to fight to take AmaZulu to the top 8. Hypothetically, if we had won all those 18 points, which was not technically improbable, unlikely but not improbable, we could have emerged with 48 points, which was deep into the top 8. So the objective that we set for him, that we agreed with him, was not unreasonable under the circumstances. He didn't accomplish that. He didn't accomplish that, and to me, it's either you succeed or you have not succeeded. There's no, we can't change the criteria at the end of the game. Criteria determined well up front, and we worked towards those and accomplished them or not accomplished them, and nothing personal. So I said to him, and out of the 18 points that you were playing for, you got 5 points. Even by Angie Motsacha's 30% role as a pass, I mean, he did less than 30%. So in my opinion, 30% of 18 would have been what, 5.6 points? 5.4 points, yes. He got 5 points. So it wasn't a stellar performance. Most certainly, by AmaZulu standards, that was not impressive at all. So it was very easy discussion with Ayanda. He said, Ayanda, you are not ready to assume the role of a leader of the first team of AmaZulu Football Club. You have enormous potential. I want to invest in you for the future. I still believe that come 2032, you could be the person leading the charges in that campaign. It's either you want to or you don't want to. I want to invest in Ayanda to earn his badges, to become a world-class coach. He's not ready to be the head coach of AmaZulu Football Club. And so we came to a discussion, a very frank discussion, and we agreed to terminate on that basis. And in the case of Romain Falls for Shaza, when Ayanda was tasked with the responsibility of being interim head coach, I kept him close to myself as a technical director, basically advising me, and specifically and explicitly not interfering with the team preparation and the team selection for the next 6 games. He understood that, so he fulfilled the role of advising me in that technical capacity. I think he gave me great insight, and I appreciated that. I I've believed in Foshoza coaching methods, and where the difficulties will have arisen, especially with the rest of the team, will have been on the training methods. And it is my firm belief that if we stay in close contact with Foshoza, he's got a role to play in AmaZulu going forward. But for now, when I said to him, going forward, I would like to retain him in some technical advisor role. He indicated that he's anxious to get back to the bench, and he is exploring a number of options that are quite exciting for him. And in that case, then he would rather resign from the team. And I've accepted that decision, that he wants to be on the bench as a coach, not as a technical director or advisor or behind the scene. And he's a young man that has got great future, and I don't blame him by choosing to be on the front end of the value chain. So that's basically the situation. He will be leaving AmaZulu Football Club to pursue a career elsewhere, and in that regard, I thank both Ayanda Dlamini and Romain Falls for Foshoza for the great role that they've played in endeavoring to take AmaZulu going forward. Their collective success, as seen in points, is something that we hope to improve on. Thank you.
Thanks, Mawini. Let's go for the next two and then two. Let's start with the lady at the back and then we'll come back to
you. From Mr. Zungu, you obviously mentioned that you were not happy with the season, and I think after a great season with Benny McCarthy, a lot of people had a lot of expectations for AmaZulu. What do you think went wrong, if you look at it, and going forward into the next season, what are you going to do to make sure that it doesn't repeat again, that you don't have a season like this again? Thanks.
Morning colleagues, morning President. Sandile from Sandile Zungu newspaper. President, ubote awukho position ukuthi sifundele ilist yabadlali abahambayo njengamanje, but ngabe isibalo singakanani nokuthi bangathi senibatholile abazovala ikhala zalabo abahambayo?
just the two.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Well, there's a lot of things that went wrong in our campaigns, the last two campaigns. Many things that went wrong, and in that regard, the buck finally stops at my door, and I will take responsibility for some of the wrong things that have happened, and it's not for me to point fingers at anyone else. Take responsibility. That's why I equally take responsibility to make the changes. This time, the changes I'm making, I'm consulting a lot more widely, involving more intellectual capital within my organization, and using the wisdom of those who love AmaZulu to give me insights as to how to go about things. So we will make the changes, but we'll make changes differently. But changes notwithstanding. You know, so if you look at the past season, you know, I think we could have clamped down on ill discipline much earlier in the team, and we should have been a lot firmer as a team in clamping down on incidents that I would call wayward behavior. Probably we didn't do that, and the wound festered, and things didn't go as well as we have wanted to. We're taking, you know, necessary steps to ensure that in future such do not reoccur. The choice of players may have been influenced by liking for some of the players, may have been influenced less by what sort of style needs to be played in AmaZulu, may have been influenced less by what sort of balance is required at AmaZulu, and sustainability thereof. We'll want to change that. So we'll expect the new coach, once appointed, to to be charged with that responsibility of looking at the team very quickly. And you'll have seen in the past that when things went wrong, changes tended to be limited to the technical change coach. And the players obviously left, new players come. We look at the team a lot more holistically to see what sort of machinery we need to come up with. And we have a chance, and we need to take advantage of that chance in a manner that will deliver to us the efficiencies that we require.